Hello guys, welcome to CodeWithJM, and in this series we'll be looking at introduction to Android XML. By now I expect you have downloaded your Android Studio and the applicable softwares and resources I shared with you in the last series. So if you haven't watched the video, I'm going to send you back there to watch it. The link is down below this video description, so you can access it and go back and watch them. So what we'll be looking at in this series is the overview, Android documentation, and Android XML. And our overview. In our previous series, we installed, cracked, and set up some applications we'll be using to work in this course. If this is your first time watching this series, for you to tag along, you might want to watch the previous series. The link is at the description panel under this video. As we move on this series, we will be learning some new languages in the Android development environment. So let's study. Now, first to study, we need to check out the Android documentation, which before we jump in the new language, it's always important we study the environment we live in. Just like in the real world, before we start communicating, we need to know more about the language people there use in communicating with one another. Well, same goes for development, and we might have just the right resource to help us get started. It is called the Android documentation. We might all know that. We might all know what we call the dictionary in the real world. As we have dictionary for all sorts of language, we have documentation for all sorts of libraries and syntax and whatever you want to call it in Android development. It is necessary to take your time study this documentation, as it will be more than a guide for you in the Android development journey. Let me show you what I'm saying. I'm gonna open my Chrome browser, and we're gonna give it some time to come up. Alright, so I'm just gonna go to Google and search for Android documentation. Okay, and search for Android documentation using Google, and wait for it to come up, and you're gonna see docs, documentation, Android, or document. What we need is the docs, the Android documentation. Yeah, so we're gonna just open that right now. Okay, so this is the Android documentation. For some of you, you might need to bookmark this, and I will really advise you take your time to study a whole lot of things about this documentation. It's going to go a long way. For you to learn a new language, you need to study your dictionary. Sometimes check out the meaning of some words or tags or syntax or grammars using the dictionary and how to construct them. I could remember when I was trying to learn French, so it's applicable also. Yeah, when you want to learn a new language, you need to understand how to use it, how to express it, how to write it, and what it is used for. So right here we have documentation for app developers. Whether you're building an Android handset, Wears, OS by Google, Android TV, Android Auto, or Android Things, the section provide the guides and API reference you need. And over here you can see a whole varieties of Android devices, the Wear OS, the Android Things, Android TV, Chrome OS device, Android Auto, best practice, testing, performance, accessibility, security, enterprise, emerging market. And over here you have some great stuff. Build your first app, sample codes, API reference, define design guidelines, code lab tutorial, training courses, build your first app. I'm just gonna check some of these few things out and see if these are just tutorial courses you can also go for in case you have more time to spend on that. So building your first app, the following page teaches you how to build a simple Android app. You will learn how to create a hello world project with Android Studio and run it. Okay, with these we're gonna come to that, and you can still go through this documentation to show you how to do that, which I will really appreciate because I want you guys to really catch up first and know how to code yourself and learn ahead of what I'm going to be teaching you, because I want us to do more of the practical and not theories. I want us to work on projects together. So this will show you how to do that. Follow this documentation, create your first Android project, and that will be your challenge this week. I want you to be able to do this yourself. And we also have over here we have some codes. We have app shortcut. This sample demonstrate how to use the launcher shortcut API, so to create a launcher app shortcut, or to fill framework, in Kotlin, downloadable fonts in Kotlin, emoji, job scheduler, notification channel, picture in picture, and you just have a whole lot of codes right here. You can have them in Java and in Kotlin, but in our course we're working with Java. I don't know Kotlin yet, so I still need to learn how to use Kotlin too. So commit content sample, app, symmetric fingerprint dialog, runtime permission, and a whole lot of stuff here. For now, I might not ask you to do this. It's kind of complicated. So this create an Android project you can do. API reference, Android support library, Android architecture, component data binding libraries. So these are all of all the libraries and API which we'll be looking into in the future designs in every work we do. So we also have material design guidelines, app quality, your design layout, your design style, your animation, your usability, your pattern, your design components, and all these are going to be looked out for. But the first thing is just work on creating an Android project. That should be your first study guide. Then also here we have some core app quality tablets, and we have design guides here. We have core developer topic, which is the activity, the animation, intent filter. So this is how you go. You go from activity to intent and intent filters, then UI navigation, and animation transition, images and graphics, audio and videos, background tags, and that's how you go. And you can also see more documentations here. Android Studio, you will not really need that for now. And so the first thing, so because there are way too many information here, so for you to just get started real fast, the first thing you need to find out is build your first app, and that's the first thing you need to do. The second thing is study what an activity is all about, and you need to read, and you can watch the video also to help you explain what an activity is. And you also have intent and intent filter also. Intent and intent filter. Just open these and you need to take your time to study and read because I'm not really going to be explaining a whole lot of these things in theory to you. So these are the tasks we'll be giving ourselves weekly for discussion. So the first thing you need to work on is build your first app for this week. That's your first week guideline, building your first app. And when you build it finish, um, please run your app and share with everyone in the group. Tell us how amazing your Hello World app is. And after that, I'll give you your next challenge for the next week, for the next coming week. So Android XML is a language we use in communicating with Android interface. In Android environments, in Android environment we use it to design the user interface of our Android application. The look, the feel, the sightseeing part of the application is communicating with Android XML. I'll be doing introduction to what and how XML works in Android development, show you some basic XML language and how to implement and manipulate them. Then you do your own work to study more from the provided resources in the Android documentation. In the Android documentation, when you come to UI and navigation, I think you need to build that with XML. And that's when you talk about layout, identification, overview, add an app bar, control the system user, design effective navigation, copy and paste, drag and drop. So you have a whole lot of things here you can learn yourself. And so let's see, I'm trying to close this out. So technically, if you follow this video, I'm just going to do what you need to do in building your first app, but I'm not going to explain more in that for you. So this you need to read and tell me whatever challenge you're having and what you need to understand. So now the first thing I want to show you is this you're going to learn in building your first app. Start a new project, start a new Android project, and I'm going to call this Android XML training. So Android XML, and you have it here. You have next, just next, empty activity, next, and you click finish. And we are going to wait for it to load. So over here you can see it loads the XML, right? The XML. So over here is going to explain a lot about XML to you. This is XML, these are what they look like. Text view, hello, and the text, and it's going to teach you some view, load the XML resource, and I think it's going to take you more complex right now in Java, which I'm not going to explain right now. So just build your first app this week. And we always have this issue with independency, and I'm going to so if you have this greater dependency error, you just follow my lead right now and fixed it. I'm just going to click these, apply, okay. I'm going to come to, alright, I don't need main activity to Java, I don't need all this, so I'm going to just hide it out. And I'm going to come to greater here, click on gradle wrap property and change this 4 to 8 and try again. Okay, but now the problem I might be having is internet. Okay guys, I'm really sorry for this series right now. I don't have a very strong internet, but I will show you exactly what I'm talking about in XML. So this is an XML. An XML is just like your HTML language, and the great advantage in building is it helps you build native Android apps. And when we mean native Android apps, means you're building an app that only works for Android and Android environments only, using an Android SDK and Android environment system. And the thing about XML is very close to HTML, just more like the same thing. Works with tags. You can see an opening and closing tag here. Just same thing as HTML. You can close it this way or close it the same way you close your tag in HTML. I'm gonna use my sticky note here, so you can do something like this. So guys, you guys have to watch out in this. So I'm going to text view, and say I have my text view this way. I can close my text view this way also. Text view. So I can close it this way, my opening tag and closing tag, or most people don't do it this way. You close it this way mostly because you really don't identify content in Android XML. What you do is you create views and layouts. So we have currently we have layouts, we have relative layouts, we have constraint layouts. So we have some layouts which I don't think intent and okay, in your UI in navigation you search layouts. Yeah, over here you're gonna teach you layouts. I think the different type of layouts we have. Okay, here we have relative, linear, and web view. The web view is what you use in converting your HTML codes or website to an Android app. But what I just need you to understand about XML is very close to HTML. You have a tag and you have its attributes and property. And when you want to set out an attribute for Android XML, you start up with Android and then a colon. This is the syntax. This is how you write it, just like your grammar, how you construct a sentence. This is how you construct your attributes for your Android XML. So you have your tag, which is text view, and you have Android, and you have the colon, and you have the attribute you want to add. I'm adding an ID and equals to, in quotes, this is the value. So the value always in quotes, just like your HTML whereby you have href, you have your value in quote. You understand what I'm saying? And only that you close it this way, and probably you identify content here, which here all you just do is the attribute and the value of the attribute is in quotes. Same here, you have your attribute and the value is in quotes. So this is Android, I'm adding an attribute, an ID to it, and this is the ID. this Android layout width. I'm adding a width to it, and that is wrap content. Android layout height, and what I'm adding is the wrap content. So there are some values here which I might explain in future lessons, but the documentation, if you go through them very well, will explain more to you um, about this attribute and their value. So you have Android, you have text, and the text, because this is a text view, so the text I'm trying to create here is hello, I am a text view. So this is what people will see. The wrap content means you know, every element in digital are in box. So the 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 tags is like a box. So whenever text is written off on it, it's it's written in a box kind of um, in a box kind of in a box kind of something like this. So you have it in the box, you have your text here, this is your view group, and that's what it's trying to say. So hello world, wrap content, wrap around the text, the box around the text. If you give it a background color, you see the difference between wrap content, and it also have what we call match parent. So match parent is to make sure it fills the whole uh, it fills the parent space. So we have child and parent, which some of you who are good with HTML already understand what we mean by parent and child. And parent and child is just like I have a view group, a linear layout, and close it right here. Cabinet right, it is just something like this, linear layout, and I have a linear layout right here, and the linear layout is the parent to text and the button. So it has two children, the button view and the text view. So the text view parent is the linear layout. So when I say match parent, it matches the space of the linear layout covered. Like the linear layout now has a match parent, since it's a root. So what it does is it occupies the whole screen of the device you're running the application on. So also it's as a button, you can see the button also has a text, because your button definitely has a text. So it says hello, I am a button, wrap content, track content. So it has a layout width, a layout height, and an ID. Same thing here. So this is how XML is. XML is constructed this way, written this way. And you say after you declare your layout in XML, save the file with .xml extension in Android project res layout directory, so it properly compile. You might not really need to do all this. What you do here is, currently, because we have an internet problem, not that I don't have internet, but it's very slow, and this won't build, I guess, because of the slow internet. I pray it does. Okay, so I can show you guys some things. Yeah. So when I come to my app directory, so I come to Android. So in my Android, I can come to my app directory. My app directory, I come to SRC. My SRC come to main. My main, I come to res. Now I look for layouts, because what I'm building are layouts for now in XML. Layouts are built with XML. Take note of that. So I'm going to just close these and close this. So now, because I already have this as my main activity, which was the default blank activity I created. So this is XML. So one thing about choosing Android Studio is because it's an IDE, it's going to help you with suggestions of text you need. Okay, I think we are close to building up our code file. Let's see if we can achieve that. If it's gonna work out, we're just gonna dive right in some stuff you need to learn about XML and some few things I want to show you in XML. So guys, your app project, I want you to build that up for Friday, so we can talk on what's next we're gonna do in the next series. I have a project I will want you to work on, and I'll share that with you in the next series. A collaboration project we are gonna work on. Yeah, just a beginner's project, just to work on layout in XML before I dive right into Java with you, I guess. But let's see how you do creating your first application, which I already showed you in Android documentation, which is right here. Get started, and the first thing I want you to do is build your first app. Then after doing that, if you're real quick with it and you want to study along and go ahead of the class, the next thing you should just come to dive right to core developer topic and create activities, intents future. So you go this way from year to year to year, and come down year. Walk that way, you will not get lost. So just still building, and we're almost there. And great to build finished. Hooray! And so we will just wait for this to index, and hopefully it doesn't take too much of our time. And so guys, do not forget to subscribe to our channel, and we need our publicity, because I'm giving out a giveaway, 5 free Wi-Fi for you guys in the community. So it's real. Stay out with that in mind. But for me to drop out the 5 Wi-Fi, first eligibility status is we get 500 subscribers. 500 subscribers on our YouTube channel, and when we get that, we are definitely going to start sharing out the Wi-Fi to the best active members in the group. But the first thing first is we get the 500 subscribers. So just indexing, we're still coming up for that. So alright, I think the index is done. So the first thing is, I don't know why we have this way. It's not supposed to keep me. Create a class. I have a class for this already, right? I have a class. Yeah, I have a class. Okay. So for now, I'm not gonna show you anything about Java, right? So the first thing here is I'm gonna change this to this is the constraint layout, but that's the latest layout we use. I'm still trying to get my hands to it. So this is one of the best thing about using Android Studio IDE. Before you finish a word, it gives you suggestion, and this is relative layout, and I'm just going to click on it, and you see instantly change this to relative layout. And I can also have a linear layout, so I'm going to work with linear layout first. So linear layout works fine. You're gonna just have to read the documentation to get the picture of what I'm trying to of what all this means. What I just want to show you is XML and how XML works and how you use it to create your. So I have a linear layout. I'm going to come here for preview. So I'm just going to click design first. Click design so you see what I'm saying. Alright, so it's still loading up. So right here, so okay, so this is my Android screen. Not really my Android screen, just a preview of what you're doing in Android Studio. So this helps you see your screen in a way, but not really very well. It's trying. So the first thing you do here is I change this layout to linear layout, and that's the parent. I can create another linear layout. In the linear layout, I can choose either to match parent or wrap content. So I'll show you the difference real quick. So now there's something I hope most of you have familiarities with HTML. This is just like having a div and a div inside a div. So that's how it works. But the thing is, you don't have head bodies and stuff like that here. So now the first thing is the linear layout match parent. So what I just want to do to show you some few stuff is I'm going to give this a background color, and then give it a black color. So so now and background I share wait okay, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, right here I have a black. So now the background here is blue. Yes, but it's not updating. Should update here. So, and why this is black. So what I'm just going to do is put a text field, and I'm going to say this should wrap content, and in this text field I'm going to put text, and then in my text also will come to invert. So now there's a problem here because I don't know, it's not displaying. And now still changing it yet. So yes, well, the challenge I'm just having now is probably my internet, and my Android Studio is not loading up fast. So that's just what is happening right now, because I'm supposed to see some changes already in my Android Studio, which right now. So, and, so the few things I want to just show you in Android Studio is so the few things I want to just show you are the XML codes called layout. We have linear layout and relative layout, and we have one attribute we use called orientation. This is to set the orientation to vertical and horizontal. So vertical means you want a list of items shown down, in a list. In horizontal means you want it to be in grids, yeah. So the the child items should be in list or grid. That's when you set your orientation to horizontal or vertical. The next thing is your relative layout. Your relative layout doesn't need an orientation, does not have the attribute of orientation. What it uses is a text view, wrap content, and I'm going to just say center and parent, true. So this is how your relative works. It has some attributes that center in parent, end of parent, align parent head. Okay, let me show you what I mean. So we have align parent right, align parent bottom, align parent left, parent end, parent start, parent stop, and you also have something like below, above, align bottom, and this works with what we call ID. So let's say I have another text view here, wrap content, and I give it an ID view, and so right here I'm just going to say align at the bottom of view. So you see that's what it does. I don't know, I'm supposed to be getting an update here currently, but maybe something is not working fine right now. So that's how relative layout works, and if you study more on the documentation, it's going to give you an overview of why relative layout over linear layout. So the other views you can get are image views, image protein, image switchers. You also have proteins. You also have table. Table row, tab widgets, text clock. You have a whole lot of stuff here. A whole lot of items you can select from. You have these are Android libraries. So basically this is where you write all your XML codes, which is what I want to show you. And in next course we'll talk more on our project. So this is end of the section, and coming up next is Android front end design. The Android front end design, I might not take you up on that yet, because uh, I want us to work on an XML project, but I will be taking you through the Android front end design also using the project. So it's going to be a very interactive section. So guys, do not forget to subscribe to CodeWithJM, and we just have 7 subscribers. Subscribe, click the subscribe button and the notification icon right beside it, so you get notified about what next is coming up. So we are going to work on a project next series, and that will be a very interactive one. I'll show you some few XML works you do, and we'll work together on achieving that together. So for now, I don't know why I'm not getting a response here, but I guess it's because of my sync and my Android in my internet. So thank you very much for this course, and please don't forget to subscribe and click the notification button. See you next time.